Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
It's alive! Hey, away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3459. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. What's up today? It is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: pets and picnics. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
The clock. You're going to draw.
All right, here we go. 2 intruders break into a Denny's not once, but twice in one night and make eggs. Meanwhile, a Florida man is booked after a traffic stop finds meth, cocaine, and fentanyl in his prosthetic legs. 900 Canadian residents ironically lose the ability to surf porn because of a beaver. 2 D.C. police cars totaled after officers caught a case of the drag racing fever. And hundreds gather in a field in Nebraska to battle over the name Josh. So half of Baltimore shows up. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, my mother used to complain about the local deer population because those deer would dig up and eat her flower bulbs. And then in one house we had termites, and we hated them, of course, because they were eating said house. A lot of people hate raccoons because they dig through your garbage, earning them the nickname Trash Panda. And then there's the people that live in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, Canada. They lost their internet service when a beaver chewed through a fiber cable in several different locations. It should be noted, these things are buried 4.5 feet underground. That didn't stop the beaver. Seems that the beavers were actually using some of the cables as part of their homes. Stop it, Ted. Now imagine walking into your house only to be greeted by a full-grown mountain lion. Now ordinarily this would be terrifying, but for one Russian couple, the mountain lion is their pet. It is full-grown. They live in a 1-bedroom apartment. That's not something you see every day. But you know what else you don't see every day, Ted? That's right, a woman with a penis. Seems that a star player on the Indonesian women's volleyball team is not a woman at all. People had suspected it might be a guy, and for 5 years, she managed to convince people that she was a woman. Dominated the sport. Then she joined the military, got a physical, and they said, you have a penis. So now she has come out and said, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm actually a dude. Just one of those things. And I saw a picture. It looks like a dude. Like it's a dude. He's just on the women's team. Either way, whatever, now he's in some hot water. But these are just some of the stories we've seen. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. And this is how it works. You call us, we will ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the Charles, and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,459. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Gary, guaranteed future repeat on this sunny Monday. What a beautiful day. Your guess is as good as mine. We're going to celebrate the sunshine. You guys like a good picnic?
Yeah. It's all right, but it's all right.
It's National Picnic Day.
Oh, is it?
Oh, right now. Today.
All right.
You are in the midst of it right now. You had no idea, did you?
I don't know why it felt so positive today, but that clears it up.
Mm-hmm. Can you consider it a picnic without a picnic basket?
No. I mean, to me, if you're eating outside, it's a picnic.
Right. But I mean, if you go on a picnic, it's like you got to have one of those little wicker baskets, right?
I mean, I don't think. Let's just cut to the chase, Miles. Are you talking about grabbing like fast food and then eating it outside? Does that count?
I'm just saying, yeah. Can I put food in my backpack and haul it in? And you're like, all right,
I call that a picnic, right?
There's Big Mac. You know what I mean?
You got a Big Mac. You open your bag. You're eating outside. So do you have to be seated on the ground for an official?
Yeah, to me, to be a picnic, you got to be sitting your butt on the ground.
You can't just take one of the picnic tables at the park. Do they have one?
I don't know, man. To me, you're just eating
look, I
outdoors.
hate picnics.
Me too.
I want nothing to do with this picnic.
Right. But part of the thing is you got to because ants are going to be an issue. You got to lay the blanket down.
Yeah.
And you got to sit down. You've got to act like you're relaxing. You probably should have a bottle of wine. Either way, one of the categories, since it is National Picnic Day, is the favorite food that people like if they're going to go out and do a picnic. So we have the 10 top food choices of a picnic. Now, our other category is the 10 most popular pets here in the United States of America. A couple weeks ago, you probably already passed this up and knew it at the time, but it was National Pet Day.
Of course.
So, in honor of that holiday, we've got the 10 most popular pets in the United States. Those are the categories coming up with your guess is as good as mine. And today is the day we do our random question 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Don. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, fellas, just trying to give you a week off in between.
Hold on. I think really what you're doing is you're giving the listeners a day off or a week off. You know what I mean? So they don't have to listen to that stuff. All right, Don. Okay. You can answer this question. Other than a gun, right? What do you hope that an assailant does not have in their hands? So look, somebody approaches you when you're getting gas or something, right? The guy comes up to you and he's got something in his hands. He looks like he's going to attack you. What do you hope he does not have in his hands if it's not a gun?
I mean, the obvious one would be a flamethrower, but more realistically,
is a good answer.
Well,
a dirty needle.
Okay.
yeah, well, I don't know, actually. I mean, as long as his gun isn't bigger than mine, I don't care.
Well, he doesn't have a gun. So what I'm saying is, even what would you be the most threatened by to see? Baseball bat, tire iron, flamethrower. Like, what would you go, oh, boy, this is not going to be good?
Definitely Bowie knife. I don't like getting cut.
Okay. I think the one that freaks me out the most is a crossbow. I think besides a flamethrower, just based on the fact that it's a crossbow, I think that one would be one that I'd be like, oh, man, I don't want anybody coming at me with a crossbow.
What about a hammer?
Hammer would be a good call,
Imagine
too.
somebody beating you up like claw side. Jesus.
Okay, all right, that's not bad. Meat cleaver is another one I think would be weird.
But I feel like the weapon, to a degree, dictates the willingness of the person to use it, right? Okay. So the person who does have a gun, and I know the gun was eliminated from this one, chances are they're probably not going to shoot you, but they understand they have the leverage, so it's easier to negotiate the wallet, right?
Okay.
And I go, all right, maybe you can work this way. The knife, they got to get close. I'm not sweating it. Tire iron guy or machete guy, I'm like, they want to use this. All right. I feel like he wants to attack you.
What if, like, filed in between his fingers, he had 4 throwing stars?
I would be impressed, and I'd want to see it. Like, don't throw them at me, but I'd like to see you throw.
How about nunchucks?
No.
You wouldn't think that would...
My experience with people with nunchucks, granted, I can't use them. Every time I've seen people that are even kind of good with nunchucks, they do it until they bash themselves in the head. 100% of the time. Right. So I'm like, if I can avoid him for a little while, he'll end up hurting himself.
It always seemed like more of a practice tool in the world of martial arts, more so than an actual weapon.
Well, like you see it in the movies, it'll look real cool, right? And then your buddies would get them. And like I said, some guys were better at it than others, but it always ended the same way. Ow! God,
to me, it's like the equivalent of hitting a speed bag. You know what I mean? It just seemed like one of those things you just practice, but I'm sure you could use it as a weapon.
Well, I mean, that's what it's for.
Right.
I mean, it is a weapon, but...
Yeah, I feel like the chances are nunchuck guy is either just out of his mind crazy, or you've broken into a serious martial artist's house.
The reason we asked, other than a
Which
gun,
is bad anyway.
What do you hope an assailant does not have in their hands? We got down to Portland over the weekend. Portland police said a man was left with a serious head wound after he was attacked with a hatchet in Old Town on Saturday afternoon.
Certain disaster.
Yeah, the police were sent to Northwest Broadway to investigate after disturbance was reported shortly after noon. If I'm not mistaken, that's very close to the original Top Pot Donuts. They arrived to find a man bleeding from his head. I'm sorry, Voodoo, thank you. He was quickly taken to the hospital. Police say that despite a serious head wound, he's expected to survive. Officers arrested a suspect who was still in the building at the time, and they recovered the hatchet as evidence, and they identified the man, 46-year-old James Lott, and he was arrested.
See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the guy that comes to you with a hatchet wants to use that, because he's pissed. The guy with the gun is not mad at you. He wants something from it, right? The guy with the hatchet, like, he's bringing it home.
Well, the problem with this one is that neither one of these two knew each other. So it wasn't about an argument. It wasn't about anything. It was just
what I'm saying.
Guys walking down the street, all of a sudden some guy comes up and rolls and tries to hack him up with a hatchet.
Because people that carry hatchets, that's what they do, man. That's what I'm telling you. The guy with the gun is just the guy with the gun. The guy with the knife, maybe it's for protection. The guy with the hatchet he's looking for something. Don't you call
the cops when you watch the guy walk down the street with a hatchet? You know he's not going down to cut down a tree. Not in the middle of the city.
Nobody called the cops on me. And I was freaking out, screaming in the middle of the night. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
that you call the cops. You definitely are going to notice a dude walking down the street with a hatchet.
Sure.
But I don't know that I would necessarily call the cops.
Yeah, I wouldn't call the cops. But there's a lot of things I wouldn't bother to call the cops.
How did you get a hatchet?
I don't know. I've had it since we moved, and I think because we've gone camping a couple of times back in.
All right.
So it's part of your camping gear.
Okay.
And that is the only location.
I'm just thinking if you run into the garage and you grab something, what are you grabbing? And all of a sudden you
the hatchet
in there.
That's where my mind was, man.
Okay.
I was looking to kill somebody. By the way, some other people check in. They say, look, a used sex toy. They don't want someone with that. All right. Because they're going to make contact with a chainsaw. And I think it ranks up there. The hatchet, like,
yeah.
He doesn't want your money. He wants to cut you up. But this one, it says the scariest thing an intruder could have in his hand, it'd be his penis. Because you automatically don't want to deal with this guy.
No, you do.
I agree with that 100%. Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Jess, welcome to the program. Random question. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Okay, let's see here. Jess, you can answer this question. What clothes would you say that you have kept, that are really just that they've gone out of style, but for whatever reason you like the clothes, so it might not be the ideal thing to wear these days, but you still kept them in case it comes back around?
You know, it's funny that you gave me that random question. I'm actually wearing some of those clothes right now. I'm wearing a Danzig shirt from a show I went to. It was Danzig and Pennywise, and I'm pretty sure the only time I'm actually only wearing this because I have to go do chores like dishes and take out the recycling. So I'm like, But, but I actually do have skinny jeans, which I think are hideous. I don't know why.
Well, if you don't even like them, why do you still have them?
Well, I mean, I've only worn them a few times. They might come back into style, or they might eventually look decent on me.
What about a couple years ago, right before the pandemic hit, the mom jeans were kind of coming back in?
I do not understand.
Like the waist,
like high-waisted jeans.
Yeah, they were more near the belly button. You know what I mean? Like they were. Do you own any of those?
I don't, but I actually think they're cute. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things because of COVID, you can't try stuff on in the store, and I don't want to commit to something if I can't try it on first. And so I'm just like,
You really like
pull
those?
that off.
You don't mind the mom jean thing that's making the comeback?
Are you talking about like the old like Levi's or the?
Those are high-waisted.
Levi's,
right.
is that what they were?
A mom jean would be baggier and like there would be no shape to it. So you guys hate the high-waisted ones.
The high-waist. Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so yeah,
I don't have any of those.
What are the North Face vest that all the tech guys were wearing?
The puffy ones.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, but you mean like the sweater, the poofy, like the down like vest jacket things, the zip ups? Oh yeah, actually I like those. I would still rock one of those for sure.
The one that I don't like is the one that the women were wearing it was a woman's coat about 2 years ago.
Like the trench coat.
But they come all the way down like to the ankles or the knees. It's like a really big snuggie made from the same material as the vest.
It looked like
my mom actually has one of those.
But
apparently everyone did for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like you're wrapped in bubble wrap.
That's exactly what it
No, but
was.
she still has it though.
It looks like you're Kenny from South Park. You're just completely blanketed by a coat. It's weird. The reason we asked what clothes you have that are not in style anymore, a new survey tried to settle the debate about clothes and what's in style or what is not. And they asked people across 4 different generations what is and is not in style. First off, the survey asked people if they think they're fashionable. 41% said yes, of millennials. 46 of Gen Z. The right way to part your hair was also asked. So millennials and Gen Z both think that parting your hair in the middle and parting your hair to the side are both in style. As people get older, they don't really care about the middle part so much. And they only think the way you can part your hair is on the side. So the older you get, the more you can't have a part in the middle.
Because you have less hair in the middle. Right. We understand how that tracks, right?
I think that's for women, too.
Mm-hmm. How about bucket hats?
I mean, from my perspective, they're as much in style now as they've ever been.
Yeah, they've ever really been in style?
Right, that's what I mean.
Well, believe it or not, they're in style with the younger generation. So 36% of both Generation Z and millennials say that they love bucket hats. But as you get older, like boomers, they don't want to wear them.
Because it makes them feel old.
But that was typically what you associated with a bucket hat.
Right, it was the old dude. Right, when we were growing up, it was always old people in a bucket hat. So you associate it with being old. But now you got a younger generation like, we don't care.
And that's true. It's like old dudes and like frat bros. Those are the 2 bucket head people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I'm bucket hat.
Bucket head.
Bucket head.
How about fanny packs?
Were they ever fast? I think they were accepted at some point, but I don't know that fashionable is the right word.
33% of millennials say they're cool, and so do 29% of Generation Z. Gen X and Boomers are much less likely to be into fanny packs. And finally, Jen mentioned skinny jeans. Millennials say skinny jeans are still fashionable, about half of them. About a half of Generation Z and X. Boomers, not so much, basically probably because they cannot wear them.
Yeah, I was going to say boomers would have no interest in skinny jeans. And to me, skinny jeans, fashionable or not, it just depends on who's wearing them.
Right.
I mean, that goes
I just don't
a long way.
I don't like the guy from Tiger King, the guy that you don't like, Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't like the jeans
the sparkly
with all the stuff on them, with all the
like on the back pockets
all the
and
decorations. You know what I'm saying?
That was huge for a while, man.
It was. I never got it.
It was like all the True Religion stuff.
Yeah, True Religion. It became butt art. I remember we used to work with this chick, Renee, very good looking woman, and she was a little more fashion forward than we were. But I remember walking into work and she's wearing this like white tracksuit, right? And she looked good in it. But then she's walking down the hall and behind her, and I'm like, Renee, does it say juicy on your butt? It's the first time I'd ever seen her, right? She's like, oh, hell yeah, man, it's the name Brent. And I realized that the next month, every chick walked by had juicy on their ass.
Yeah.
But if I were to say that, that'd be a problem. Like, girl, you got a juicy butt.
Well, like the younger people, too, like in my neighborhood, like most of the girls I see do not wear skinny jeans. Their jeans are much baggier.
Really?
Yeah. You can tell my feelings on it.
He looks really hurt there. Like, I'm so baggy, I can't see it. That's why.
I don't know why I'm so salty.
We know why.
That's why I don't like those long coats. You see?
Mm-hmm.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Your home equity. It could be an untapped opportunity instead of an untouchable asset. Introducing HomeTap. HomeTap is an investor, not a lender. They give you cash in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Use it to pay off debt, make renovations, fund a business, or just live a better life. There's no interest or monthly payments to worry about. HomeTap. Get more from home ownership. Get more from life. Subject to eligibility, terms and conditions apply. Visit HomeTap.com to apply in minutes. That's HomeTap.com.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Random question 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful, thank you. Okay, let's see here. All right, this might be an odd question to ask during the pandemic because a lot of people have had a lot more time to be able to get things done, but still, what have you been meaning to get to that you haven't done yet? I need to get this done, but I haven't done it.
Haven't really thought about it, actually.
There's nothing hanging over you.
When's the last time you had a physical?
Don't remember.
When's the last time you went to the dentist?
Don't remember.
There's two right there to put on the list.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
When's the last time you changed the sheets on your bed?
Yesterday.
Okay. When's the last time you washed your towels?
Today.
Did you need to get your oil changed in your car?
I don't have a car right now, but eventually, when I do get a car, I'll have to do that.
All right. Do you have a driver's license?
I have a permit.
Okay. Do you want to get your driver's license?
Not particularly, but it looks like I logically don't really have a choice.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get around, and potentially if you have an employer that's going to be living a little bit farther away from where you live, yeah.
I mean, basically, if you own a car, you have a checklist because the check engine light seems to be on 90% of the time you're in your vehicle.
I have to make that appointment. The light came on yesterday.
Any idea what it is?
No, it says maintenance required.
Right, it's never like specifically you do this, you know? It's just like, it's something that'll cost a couple $100 for them to go through.
Yeah.
Figure it out for you.
You got anything on your list, Ted, that you've been meaning to get to that you haven't yet?
I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff.
Right.
I've actually done pretty well. Because of COVID and not being able to do anything else, we basically got around to all the crap we should have gotten to like 3 years ago.
Sure.
Like, can we finally take this box to Goodwill? I mean, it's only been sitting here for 4 years.
Goodwill. There's a good one.
You know,
it's been a year. I've been talking about going to Goodwill.
Well, Goodwill takes a little bit more time now.
Yes.
You sit in line. They only allow sometimes one car at a time. I'm just not sure when the right time to go is. Because it's never when I pull up. That's a fact.
There is no right time.
Yeah, like the doctor stuff just all lined up this year as I turned 40. So I had to get all that stuff done.
Did you already get your physical?
Yeah.
I haven't got my physical. There's another thing I need to do.
I need to get a physical. I just went to the dentist, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever the hell.
I need to get my second COVID shot.
Need to do that.
Yeah,
schedule that.
You need to get that scheduled, man.
Right, but look, I drove to Oak Harbor.
Yeah.
To get that damn shot, right? Oak Harbor, by the way, lovely. I don't know what you do there if you're not in the...
is it lovely like Yakima was lovely too? Or is this lovely by other
it's
people?
Beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, Deception Pass is pretty...
I like Oak Harbor.
It's a nice town. It's just a
Where do you go to the bar, Ted?
Flyers Brewery.
Good guy.
I passed that.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah. So I went to the Island Drug, got my shot and all that stuff, and it's wonderful. It just takes an hour and 45, 50 minutes to get there.
Right.
So I thought was that if I could get my second shot a little bit closer, that would be ideal. If not, I'll still go back. I'll go back and get it, but I was hoping that I could get one a little closer to home. So
yeah, I mean, I just went to West Seattle.
Yeah, that's a lot closer.
Yeah.
than I had a chance to get.
Random.
It's such a nice, easy drive. Well, the reason we asked, what have you been meaning to get to? Former Oklahoma resident, now living in Texas, recently learned that she had an active warrant for a felony embezzlement charge for the past 2 decades after she never returned a rented VHS tape in 1999.
VHS tape.
She was first made aware of the charge when she tried to change her name on her driver's license after getting married in Texas. She said she tried to make an appointment with the Department of Motor Vehicles under restrictions put in place during the coronavirus, but received an email back saying that she had a, quote, issue in Oklahoma.
Did she have any idea what it was?
No.
Federal embezzlement. It is a VHS tape.
That's crazy.
Court documents online showed the McBride was accused of never returning Sabrina the Teenage Witch on VHS tape to a movie place in Norman, Oklahoma in 1999. First thing she told me was felony embezzlement, so I thought I was going to have a heart attack. She told me it was over the VHS tape. And I had to make her repeat it because I thought, this is insane. This girl is kidding me, right? She was not kidding. Records show the video rental store closed in 2008. The charge was filed under a previous district attorney. Basically, what the woman suspects is this.
The DA hates her guts?
She had a previous roommate, a man with 3 young daughters at the time.
Okay.
And they rented the VHS tape 2 decades ago, but somehow used her name. I mean, I didn't try to deceive anyone over Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I swear. I'd lived with a young man. This is over 20 years ago. He had 2 kids. But either way, she said, that would not be my cup of tea. That is not something that I would rent from a movie store.
Right.
But either way, she is now fighting the felony embezzlement charges after 20 years.
I would think those charges would be dropped.
You would think so, based on format alone. I mean, it's like Circuit City suing you.
Right, but when you read federal embezzlement, like, if I'm a detective, like, ooh, this is juicy. I'm like, wait a minute. Guess she didn't return Sabrina, the Teenage Witch on VHS? Like, I do not want this case.
Yeah.
You guys ever had a warrant?
Not that I know of.
All right.
I mean, the whole thing, it's like when the doctor says,
I don't think she knew that either.
Are you allergic to something, right? And you're like, dude, I don't know. You're going to have to do what you do unless you see what happens. So, like, when the cop pulls you over and they run all your crap, it's like, I wonder if I do have warrants. Because if I do, I'm about to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as long as they don't say you have an active warrant, to me, it's all positive.
It's like the Columbia House people coming back and saying, you still need to buy 5 more CDs from us to complete
5.
Or whatever the deal is. You know what I mean?
It's more... Columbia House, in theory, if this woman could get federal embezzlement for not returning a VHS tape from 1999, I would think Columbia House probably could sue, upwards of 30 million people?
By taping that penny on there, you agreed to the terms and circumstances.
You thought I did.
Sucker. Right?
Hello, Stephen. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola. Stephen, this is a good question. Especially for you, because we can figure this one out together. Stephen, who either first name or last name, who are you actually happy to share a first or last name with? Because there's sometimes a name gets brought up and maybe it's your name and they did a terrible thing. Or it just happens to be something that,
it comes and goes. My name's pretty plain. So there was Stephen Hill, the actor, right? He was Law and Order most recently. There was Stephen Hill, a botched Jets receiver.
He was terrible. And he was a first-round draft pick. And he wasted a first, yeah.
But the worst one, there's a bald black guy, much like myself, named Stephen Hill. And he was in the porn industry. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And, I don't know if he was on drugs or whatnot, but, he lost his mind, attacked his 2 roommates / friends with a machete, I believe it was. Ran away from the cops, went to the Hollywood Hills sign. The cops kind of had him surrounded and threw himself off the sign.
And there's obviously a Stephen Hill who's done something from a military standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
It was so heinous that you cannot get into a military base.
I cannot go to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, I believe, but I thought they were going to gun me down at JBLM.
Okay, what about Stephen Baldwin?
No.
See what I'm saying? That's what I mean.
But he's a PH, so I don't feel as bad.
Right. Like Ted, there's Ted Kennedy. You always think about all the names.
Ted Kennedy.
Ted Cruz, Ted Bundy.
Well, Ted Cruz, yeah. What were people calling him last week? Something Wolverine?
Oh, yeah, because of his corona face.
But then there was Ted the movie.
Yeah, which was about Ted, a bear.
Were you happy with that?
Yeah, funny movie.
Yeah, it's funny. It's good.
He likes weed and...
Yeah, I mean...
Certain type of women. Cool.
What about in the world of sports with your last name Smith?
The one I remember the most was How I Met Your Mother. I just stopped watching that because the main character's name was Ted.
Yeah, he didn't do good things for you.
No.
And you have Miles Davis, man.
Yeah.
A jackass in real life, but very good. Yeah, Miles Standish.
Which is not a lot. But, Steve, how about you, man? Is there anybody out there that you're happy to share a first name with or a last name?
Other than me.
I mean, it's got to obviously be Steve the Thrill Hill.
Well, that goes without saying. Come on.
Okay.
I mean, that's obvious, but then there's, Steven Seagal.
Okay.
Wait,
Seagal. Good
Come
idea.
on, man.
Yeah, Steven Seagal.
I thought we were friends. We were tracking under. Steven Seagal is such a douchebag, man. I mean,
I've never met him, so.
He's just a big, plump douchebag with a goatee.
Do you go by Steven or Steve?
Steven.
Okay, Steven.
All right.
I mean, Steve is kind of like an old white guy name.
Yeah, it is an old white guy name.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
That reflects me very well.
Steve Largent, he's an old white guy.
That is an old white guy.
Yeah.
There's Steve Harvey.
He's an old guy.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
That's
Not
bad.
white.
That's not bad.
Not white. His teeth are white.
Oh,
that dude's got some serious pearly whites. Those things. It's like the bat symbol.
They're not his.
Not a rip. He owns them.
He does. The reason we asked who, because he grew up in West Virginia, so there's no way. The reason we asked who are you happy to share a first or last name with, this is kind of bizarre. But after 6 months of social isolation and personal madness in the past year, people are losing it. There's a 22-year-old guy, his name is Josh Swain in Lincoln, Nebraska. And last year, he sent a message on Facebook to pretty much everyone named Josh that he could find in the area to invite them to a Josh fight. Saturday, April 24th, 2021 at noon. So the message got a bit of a viral boost. And on Saturday, dozens of Joshes actually showed up to participate in said Josh fight. Most of them wore costumes, and they all fought with pool noodles. The last Josh standing at the end was a 4-year-old kid who everyone was calling Little Josh. He got a Burger King crown and a wrestling title belt.
It's all because he's
For his
4,
victory.
man. They took it easy on him.
Yeah. The entire thing is the kind of late pandemic social media era fever dream scene that you'd expect. So people have been watching these videos over and over and over again as the Josh has decided to challenge each other with pool noodles. But there you go.
Try to find out who's the last Josh. The best Josh.
4-year-old kid.
4-year-old kid.
I'd have taken him out first. Like, we go do the Josh. By the way, some people checking in. Let's say Steve Perry, as far as Steve goes.
Okay, yeah.
Steve Perry, lead singer of Journey. He is the perfect example of how ugly a human being can be. But if you sing love songs and have a great voice, you just get angry. I mean, that dude is he is so ugly.
Do you think Steve Buscemi gets ass?
Yes.
He's been married for a while, but you know
Okay,
he was
all right,
getting ass
all right.
left and right. Because he's that guy. It's the confidence, right? Like, we don't care that your teeth are
Who's
everywhere.
the best looking Steve?
Other than myself.
Is there a good looking Steve out there? People are like, oh my God.
Not Buscemi.
No. There's Steve Martin. He's an old white guy.
He's normal looking. There's Steve Austin, right?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Someone else says Steven Seagal is an absolute douchebag. 10 years ago, I was a bill collector, and he was the hardest person to collect money from his outstanding Amex card.
Huh.
And
There's
someone else,
got to be a famous, very good-looking Steve we're just not thinking about.
I don't think there is one. I feel like at
Is that
least
an actor or something? What about Steve Miller?
Steve Miller? No.
All right.
No,
I obviously don't know
not
what
big in the
looks
looks
like.
department. Fine musician, but yeah. Someone here, Ted, says, my name is Ted, and I would hear Ted Bundy a lot. And then one year I had a teacher who happened to be stalked by Ted Bundy. And she proceeded to break down at the end of the year and tell us about it. Also, I've noticed that in almost every movie, big TV show, or even commercial, with a character named Ted, they're always either a complete a-hole or a total dweeb.
Huh.
Oh, sorry, man. This is another Ted saying, look, man, I've gone down the Ted hole, and it gets ugly.
You got Steve McQueen.
All right.
Yeah,
Steve Carell?
Steve Carell.
All right.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Ballmer? I don't know if I
Any of these guys
There's a lot of rich people named Steve.
Yeah, but there's no like stunning sex appeal.
That's what I was just thinking. Google good-looking Steves.
Yeah, good looking Steves.
Good-looking Steves.
By the way, someone pointed out there are 2 Steve Perrys. The lead singer of the Cherry Poppin' Daddies is also named Steve Perry.
My bad.
Now we got Steve Urkel, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Steve Irwin.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Irwin's a good-looking man. R.I.P.
Oh, that was his
Crocodile
name.
Hunter.
God, I forgot his first name was Steve. He wasn't a good-looking dude.
You don't want to be Steve Urkel because he was a character.
No, I do not want to be Steve
But he
Urkel.
also got to be Stefan.
Steven Tyler.
Oh, God.
Dude looks like a lady.
Okay. Are you sure you're looking at good-looking Steve?
I'm trying.
Good-looking Steve.
Right now, you're just saying Steve.
I'm just trying to think. There's got to be Steves in baseball or something.
Steve Garvey, maybe, back in the day was...
Was he the idiot that was always getting kicked out of the league?
No.
I don't think
Who's that guy? He was always doing coke and getting busted, and they let him back in.
Steve Gutenberg. Steve
Gutenberg. There's a good looking
again,
Steve.
No, he's not. I mean, he's normal looking, but like again, doesn't reach
I'm talking
sex
about like,
symbol.
wow, look who just walked in. It's
Someone said, and again, we understand that Steve McQueen was the sex symbol of the day, but he's dead. He's been dead.
So
for
is
a
Steve
long
Irwin.
time.
So a
Right.
lot of these Steves.
Steve Winwood.
Steve Jobs.
Ooh, Steve Winwood.
Steve Winwood.
Again, talented musician. Not the Stephen Colbert.
But I said good-looking Steves.
I know. See, there's none.
I don't think there is.
My name is not a name. You might be a nice guy. You might do well for yourself.
yeah.
But no one thinks you're sexy.
No.
That's all. I got that name.
I don't know if I'm going to Google hot Steves, but screw it.
Okay, do it.
Come on, do hot Steves, man. Hello, Fox. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. Ted, real quick, somebody points out the Unabomber's name. That was Ted.
Oh, no.
And then they throw in Steve Mariucci, and Steve Young.
Ooh. Yeah, Ted Bundy, Ted Kaczynski, and then Ted Cruz.
Teddy Roosevelt.
There's Ted Roosevelt, yeah.
Right? We said Ted Kennedy.
I mean, I know it's fiction, but Captain America's name's Steve, right?
Yeah, he was a Steve.
Yeah,
but it's fictional.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is a good-looking man. He played a guy named Steve. You know why? Because there's no good-looking Steves.
Okay. Fox, let's go.
You said good-looking men who get at, or bad-looking men who get. What about Mick Jagger too? Right, that guy's like.
Oh, dude, it's confidence.
Well, yeah.
That dude's head is the size of a gallon of milk, right? He's got that screwed-up-looking body, but he just reeks of confidence and just
one of the
slays
biggest
it.
bands in the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's
That
go
helps.
with.
Oh, that guy's confident. Like, yeah.
Fox, I'm going to make you go back in time a little bit with your brain here. And obviously, as a kid, you're a little bit more naive than not, as far as being able to tell which teachers like to throw down. But of all the teachers that you've had in your lifetime, which one of your teachers from back in the day would you say liked or likes to party? Like, which one could you just tell, like, all right, you know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't have to tell. I know. One of our old language teachers, people would bribe him with either cannabis or McDonald's if we were late or got assignments or anything. He would just give us A's.
And was this well known? Was this like passed from grade to grade? Like, hey, if you get Mr. So and so, look, man, bring a McDonald's if you don't have your homework.
It was kind of like an underground thing, amongst the stoners. Be like, hey, man, he's a stoner. Like, if you bring him a 20 bag, he'll let you be late for the rest of the semester. Like,
okay. There was a couple that I know for a fact, two women that were best friends in my high school, and they would just absolutely have a blast on wine. I mean, that was their thing. My buddy owned a winery, and his family owned a winery out on a farm. And they would go out there almost every weekend and just sit on the deck and just get absolutely tanked. Then their husband would have to come and pick their asses up and drive them back home. And I was like, Mrs. Colbank? And they're like, he's like, every weekend, man. They just sit here. He's like, sometimes we have to tell them to just quiet down a little bit because there's people having dinner, you know what I mean? And there's like, classical music playing with kids and stuff. It's like, so.
I know looking back, you don't really get it at the time. There's something about certain teachers where you're like, I kind of like this dude. I don't know why. 7th grade biology teacher, clearly a stoner. Like, looking back, he was even the guy, when he sat in the class, he had like this big blonde afro, the handlebar mustache, and pretty much called everyone dude before anyone called dude.
Okay.
It was like first day of school, he couldn't remember anyone's name yet. He got the assignment saying, like, dude in the red shirt in the back. And at the time, we just thought, oh, what a cool guy. Now I'm like, brother was probably high 95% of the time.
We had like one chemistry class my entire educational life. Basically, it was like 9th grade, 10th grade. The chemistry teacher, he was the guy that I think they required teachers to wear like a casual sport jacket. But he would always he'd wear the jacket, he'd wear the khakis, but he always had a tie-dye shirt underneath that, or a Grateful Dead shirt. You know what I mean? Like he would take the jacket off and you'd see like he's got, a Dead shirt on or whatever the deal was. So ponytail. Just a really, really smart guy who knew chemistry, but you knew he liked to party. And the reason we asked which one of your teachers would you say likes to party, there's a 46-year-old woman named Sybil Billy. She's a kindergarten teacher in Colonial Heights, Virginia. And she was arrested last week after a security officer at her elementary school found out she was getting through the days with cocaine. The officer found cocaine in her desk while her kids were at recess, and she was arrested and charged with felony drug possession. Some reporters interviewed a parent of one of her students who was really forgiving about what happened. Quote, I'll let my daughter know that sometimes adults make mistakes, and just like children, there are consequences. She'll get the help that she needs. She was a great teacher. My daughter and all the kids enjoyed having her very much.
Yeah, what do you care? By the way, you think that one's good? Someone checks in and says, my 10th grade biology teacher was a Jell-O wrestler.
Oh.
Huh.
I like that.
Wonder if he was any good.
More of the random question coming up. 206-421-ROCK.